morning, Frank Ray here with the National State Post. Of course, you're with our good friend Barry Habib once again. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning.
I got to get a mention out of the way. I want to let everybody know that if you're interested in exploring the reverse mortgage space, you really should. Liberty Home Equity Solutions is going to do another webinar in their ongoing webinar series with us. And this time we're going to talk about reverse mortgage math. We're going to look at the numbers and see how these deals pan out. You know, there's been changes recently to them, et cetera. So it's good to find out how these things work out and also to learn how you can start doing these loans because it's a huge source of business out there. It's like, Barry, I think it's like 10,000 people a day turn 62 or something like that every single day. And it's a huge market. Why not learn about it? Why not dive in? Click the Liberty Home Equity Solutions banner you see on the screen right here. You might have to, it's over on your left. You might have to scroll down just a tad. If you're on a mobile device, just scroll way down past the comment. You'll see their banner there. And if you're on Facebook watching us, there's a link somewhere around here where you can register for that webinar. So with that, let's get started, Barry. Are you pumped?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Are you pumped?
I'm pumped.
I'm pumped. It's Super Bowl weekend, man. You're going to be there, and your band is actually going to be playing there, opening up the festivities somehow, right?
We are. We have the Wheels Up Party. It'll be our third year in a row playing it. I am so excited. It's like the event of the Super Bowl, and we're so blessed and fortunate to be playing that event. It's an amazing experience.
Rad. I just got to say, rad. Cool.
Thanks, man. Well, I mean, you're
break a leg. Break a leg.
Man. You're a musician, so you know. I mean,
I get it.
It's you know how incredible, what a rush and what a great feeling it is.
Oh yeah, what a great time. Well, good for you, man. So let's dive right in. The last time we spoke, you had some concerns about rates. You were worried about the stock market breaking a threshold there, and if it did, that would be a problem. But you're telling me it held there a little bit.
Yeah.
Things have changed. Also, we talked about some numbers yesterday on our show that were some MBA numbers that you felt like maybe weren't quite accurate because there's some information that they're not really considering in these numbers. And then you want to talk about some housing too. So we got a jam-packed show. Let's get at it. Let's talk about the stock market from last time.
So the stock market had that important ceiling I talked about. I said I'd be concerned about interest rates if the stock market would break it. Wouldn't you know? Before we came on, I showed you, it's amazing on the chart how it hit that level, hit it again, and then it actually hit it a third time. But now with the Fed yesterday, the other 2 days
before,
saying that patience. In fact, do you know that the Chairman Jay Powell, he used the word patience in his speech literally 8 times. 8 times. You know, it's he used it more than Guns N' Roses. You know, Axl did say patience that many times. You know, in his song, all we need is just a little patience, right?
A little patience.
So great song, by the way. Well, the thing of it is that when he talked to the markets, he really helped soothe the stock market. Didn't do anything. Didn't change anything with rates. Didn't change anything with the path of quantitative tightening. Remember, you know, it's so funny, brother, because everybody now is talking about the Fed's balance sheet and this, that. We were the only ones kind of talking about that for over a year, right? We're talking about the importance of winding down the balance sheet was going to play. And nobody kind of got it. Now suddenly everybody sees how important and critical that is, and that's the main focus. Well, Jay Powell kind of really soothed the market. So stocks are doing well and bonds are doing well right now. But that brings us to, well, what's coming out today is the jobs report, and the results of today's jobs report will have a very big influence on the way things go. But it's also the way that it's reported. And here's what I mean by this, and this ties into a couple of things we've been seeing. So we do have the government now back to work. Thank God, right? The government back to work, and let's hope that they resolve this darn thing. But because of the shutdown and because of some of the catch-up, you may get a crazy number today on the jobs report, and it could be a little unreliable. The markets could react to this. So we're a little bit worried that it could go either way, obviously, but it could go either way in an exacerbated manner. And I'm just a little worried if we get a jobs number today that it could be an error, but it shows a lot of strength. Mortgage bonds could get hammered, and then they'll say a month later, oh, we corrected, it wasn't so. But we may pay the price for that today. So it's just a more risky environment today. Now, if I were looking just at strictly the technical picture, I'd say I kind of like the way mortgage bonds are trading, but we got to be careful about that. And that brings us to the MBA's number that you guys had reported on.
Yeah.
I want to say the MBA does a great job, but one thing that they're not wonderful at is taking into consideration seasonal adjustments. They're not wonderful at that, or holidays. And when you saw those numbers come down a little bit, I take it with a grain of salt. I have a feeling that next week it'll pop back up. We saw that before. We saw it with New Year's. We saw it with Christmas. and then sure enough, pops right back up. They're just not really good at making that accounting for what it is. As I said, it's not a knock on them. They do a great job. But if you know this in advance, then you know that when those situations occur, like last week, Martin Luther King, right? So we want to kind of take that number and not put so much emphasis on it. Let's wait till next week's number before we sink our teeth in.
Gotcha.
That brings us to housing.
Yes, housing. Let's talk about that.
So the numbers came out, a couple of numbers came out recently, right? And I'm saying let's temper the wonderful excitement on the good ones, and let's temper the downside as well. So we get the new home sales up 17%. It's a volatile number to begin with. So listen, we got to just kind of temper that. But I do see a lot of strength in the housing market. Listen, I'm blessed that I get to speak to literally thousands of real estate agents every month by speaking in front of them and mortgage professionals in different markets. And I will tell you that a lot of people are telling me that they are seeing a lot of, I spoke to a realtor yesterday. I was like, man, I don't know what people are talking about this slowdown. I am busy. Our office is busy. We're putting deals on. Now, of course, it's regional. Depends on where you are.
Sure.
But the housing market's okay. Now, when you saw the numbers come out just recently on existing home sales, it's an important report. This was closings for the month of December. You reported on this. What happened to delayed closings in December? You know two things, right?
Yeah.
You had flood insurance and,
and then you
4506, right?
Right.
So that slowed things down and postponed it. I think January will bounce, but also a couple of things to remember, and this is really critical to understand. One is those people that closed in December or tried to close in December, they shopped in October. Rates were at their highest level, okay, worst level for rates. So yeah, it's going to hinder them, but also the stock market had been in decline, and that decline was even in December as well. That weighs on people. Look, today I could pick this up. I can see what my portfolio is doing. I don't have to wait for my quarterly statement. Right. So I know minute by minute, literally, what my portfolio is doing. And listen, if you're listening to this, just put yourself in that position. If you suffered some losses to your portfolio and you saw those things declining, you're not feeling that great about it, right?
Right.
It gives you less desire, less confidence to go out and make purchases. Now the stock market's kind of gathered its footing a little bit. I think come spring, you will see a very good housing market in spring. I know that everybody's called for the death of the housing market for 7 years, right?
Right.
And, you and I have talked about this, how people have looked
many
at that.
Times.
But, please remember what the media wants to do. The media doesn't care about what's real. The media cares about getting eyeballs, okay?
Right.
And if they tell you everything's great, it's less eyeballs than if they say the sky is falling.
Right.
If they tell you the sky is falling and it's on fire while it's falling, you're really going to pay attention. And they know that. So when the media gives you information, they are not interested in what's good for you. They're interested in how to increase their income because they're going to each get their ranking. If I get more eyeballs tuned into me, I will command higher pay. I can get more advertising dollars from the network. So we have to be careful. We have to understand it and interpret it. When you look deeper at the numbers, you oftentimes find the truth, and the headlines, oftentimes you find some misleading information.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good to know. And it's great to have you on the show to help clarify these things. And the numbers in general, I mean, obviously we do just, we're scouring sites all the time and trying to bring information to the viewers and looking at stuff and reporting on things. But it's always great to have you kind of dive in a little deeper on, especially these types of housing numbers and
bro, you remember the Black Knight numbers that came in that for the month of September showed that, oh my gosh, you have delinquencies through the roof, right? But what you have to look at it, for some reason, two things that people never consider. One was they don't consider that September, when you look at the big picture, is always the worst number of the year. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah.
Really, if the month ends on a Sunday, it's always far worse on delinquencies.
Remember this.
Ends in a Sunday. But when the numbers are released from the media, and you guys do a great job because you're scouring, you're picking it up, and then you're reporting it, it's always a good idea to kind of look at the big picture because the media won't do that for us, right? They won't do that for us. So I think it's important for us to look at, and sometimes there is some bad news in there and that the media can't even find. Another thing that came out just yesterday was the new home sales up 17%. Now, while that looks really great, it's a very volatile number. I think we really have to kind of temper that expectation. I don't think it's as good as it is, but I certainly don't think it's as bad as the media says it is either.
Gotcha. All right. Awesome stuff, man. I really appreciate you being here, Barry. Do us a favor, guys. Any questions, any comments, leave them down below. Barry will try to get in there and answer them if he can. He's very busy. Of course, he's got to go and play at the Super Bowl. So, he's a very busy guy. He's going to be traveling, that kind of a thing. But we'll go ahead and get on out of here. We appreciate it. I know it was a little longer show, but a lot of information. Wanted to get that to you guys, and hope you enjoy it. Hope you digest it well. So, who do you like in the Super Bowl?
You know, I think the Rams maybe. I like both teams as great competition, but I think the Rams maybe have a little luck on their side, right? It's just
Let's see.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
Let's see what happens. All right, have a great one. Thanks a lot, Barry. You guys have a great day. We'll see you later.
Bye.